This is Newsfighters, where we fight the news so you don't have to.
G'day, yes, welcome to Newsfighters. It's Monday, December 23, 2019. It's our last episode of the year. Now, we couldn't sneak off to Hawaii without leaving you a lumpy, coal-based present under the Christmas tree with our best of year in review episode. But before we do, our Prime Minister Scott Morrison is back from his mysterious break to an unknown destination.
The Prime Minister's office has refused to reveal details of where Mr Morrison has gone and when he'll be back.
Yes, it turns out Scott Morrison was actually on holidays with his family in Hawaii, and he copped a lot of criticism for choosing to be away while our country is literally on fire.
After copping criticism for taking an overseas holiday as bushfires engulfed his home state,
been copping a lot of flack for leaving while much of the country is facing bushfire emergencies.
Under intense pressure, the Prime Minister has finally agreed to come home.
He was quite happy to sit here and have cocktails served to him, whilst our firefighters are there doing it really hard.
Scott Morrison apologises for holidaying in Hawaii with his family, while other families faced catastrophic conditions.
You know, whether it's on a Friday afternoon and you're deciding to take that extra plumbing contract and you said you were going to pick up the kids or something at my level. I mean, these are things you juggle as parents.
Interesting mixed metaphor from Scott Morrison there. Not sure if he thinks Australia is just some kids he can abandon or a blocked toilet he doesn't want to look at. But while he was away, his deputy and acting Prime Minister Michael McCormack had some big climate change denying shoes to fill.
There's been a lot of hysteria around climate change. Climate change isn't the only factor that has caused these fires. There's been dry lightning strikes, there's been self-combusting piles of manure.
Yes, and right on cue, the leader of the Pile of Manure Coalition returned and gave a press conference at the New South Wales Rural Fire Service headquarters. But it did sound like he was kind of thanking himself.
I want to thank those who've come from overseas.
Yeah, and all in all, it sounded like the Prime Minister of Australia, the leader of the country, didn't even realise why he was expected to be here during this unprecedented bushfire crisis.
But equally, I'd note that I'm not the operational leader of an emergency service or police force. I'm the Prime Minister. I'm not going to stand there and hold a hose. I'm not a trained firefighter.
Yeah, look, I can only imagine what this guy would be like at a barbecue at your house. Oh, I'd like to cook the sausages, but I'm not a trained chef. I'm not one to be at the end of a set of tongs. He also reminded us that despite absconding to Honolulu to down beers and do some shuckers, he did actually still like Australia.
Australia is the most amazing country on earth.
Yeah, not so amazing lately, especially if you want to go on holidays. Have you seen all the smoke and ash everywhere? God, you can hardly breathe. Someone should really do something about that. And while it looks like Scott Morrison will definitely be thinking twice before taking another holiday.
Will he be taking holidays again before the end of the year? Very quickly?
Before the end of 2019 at the moment. Look, if I get to take a few days with the family, I'll always seek to do that.
Make sure you tell us as well, Prime Minister, won't you?
We'll leave it there. Follow the proper processes.
We'll leave it there.
Okay, well, Merry Christmas to everyone.
But in the end, Scott said as a country, it was time for us to move on and be nicer and be kinder, mostly to him.
The time for that discussion is over. We need to focus on what's going on out there today. And let me finish by simply saying this, and I apologise for the lengthy nature of my remarks this morning. It's time to be kind to each other.
Yes, we all need to be kinder to each other. I wholeheartedly agree. Let me start. Dear Scott Morrison, kind sir, would you kindly oblige yourself to resign immediately and kindly let someone else lead the country who actually wants to be here and doesn't treat Australia as if it's made up of
self-combusting piles of manure.
Newsfighters, Australia's funniest news summary podcast.